Mackenzie.
Lemar.
People, I feel like we're coming off as a Tom Haverford in Parks and Rec, very Aziz Ansari. We're great
Yeah.
singers, is what I'm saying.
I mean, you also have the wrong number of syllables for me to match some of this.
True,
Like
true.
the name disparity is
Yes,
hard.
accurate.
We do our best.
Um,
Anyways,
anyway, we are talking about the Oneaters, aka the Wonders, today in that thing you do, the one-hit wonders. And I was curious if, like, do you have any favorite one-hit wonders from history that stand out to you?
first of all, like I feel like my era of growing up, was just a string of these, like 90s, 2000s music, I feel like was just a ton of one hit wonders that, popped off and then vanished. Um, but yeah, I have a bunch. I mean, one of the ones that pops into my head immediately is the New Radicals.
Dude, that was like at
And
one of the top of my list choices. Excellent choice.
yes, You Get What You Give, which is
Hmm.
the song, but that whole album is awesome. If you have
Really?
not ever listened to the whole album is great. I think I listened to it on repeat for literal months. But the whole album is great. But fun fact about them, they're supposedly coming back this year. Number one, which is fun. But number two, the songwriting duo that did the New Radicals, they did Lost Stars from Begin Again, which is an incredible movie song if you've never heard it.
Okay.
And then Murder on the Dance Floor, which was the Saltburn thing. Remember the Saltburn ending?
Oh, okay. So they're doing
Yeah.
other stuff.
They're doing
Um,
other stuff. And New Radicals recorded those songs, but like they didn't do, New Radicals music since then.
got it. Got it. So
Yeah.
like historically they're known as a one hit. There's a lot of those where if you talk to fans of the artist, they're like, yeah, that whole album was
Yeah.
full of bangers. Like
Right.
Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger. That whole first album is great. And honestly, their second album was really good too. But everyone just knows that one song. And I was gonna call
Yeah.
out the guy who wrote That Thing You Do, Adam Schlesinger, may he rest in
Yeah.
peace, unfortunately passed a couple years ago, but also Fountains of Wayne and Stacy's
Fountains of
Mom,
Wayne.
another one hit wonder whose
Yeah.
her album was great. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Another one like that came to mind was the Bravery. Do you remember the Bravery? They had that
Yeah,
song
what was their big
Honest
one?
Mistake, Honest
Yeah, I
Mistake.
had that
But
album.
the album was good. Like I wouldn't say it was even as good as the New Radicals album, honestly, but it was very good. There were several hits on it, I thought. And then I had a couple. I'm a big classic rock girly, as I think you know. There's a couple classic rock songs that I like just wanted more from them. So
Hmm.
like Fogat did Slow Ride,
Yeah,
not much else. Um, Ram Jam Black Betty.
banger.
Yeah, banger. And then one that actually made it onto the Guardians movies, but is not, they didn't, so like people know it, but they didn't do anything else was Looking Glass did Brandy.
That is that one I revisited after Guardians 2, and it was definitely
Yeah.
on playlists of mine for like 6 months after that
Yeah.
because I just had to go back and like get back into that song.
Guardians soundtracks are bangers, number one.
Yeah, I don't know if
Just love
James
it.
Gunn ends up being like picking all the music for those films, but if so, he's doing a great
I
job.
think it's a collab. But
Okay.
one I was going to ask you if you think counts. Did you ever hear The Darkness? I
I
believe.
believe in a thing called love. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that like a big hit? I don't
Yeah.
even
Oh yeah.
know
Yeah.
at a time. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So like I don't know what happened to them either.
They're
So what
still.
about
I feel like they just came through Austin recently. Like in the last three
really?
months, I feel like I had an opportunity to go see them, but I didn't.
Did
But yeah,
I drop off and they didn't drop off?
I think
Was
they've
it
been
me?
still touring and probably putting out new music. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
what about
What else? Do you have any other good
does
ones?
Lou Bega, Mamba Number Five, do anything
Oh
for
my
you?
God. That's I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic. You gotta
Yeah,
have it.
there's so many to choose from. Like I have a Spotify playlist pulled up, and it's like hundreds, if not thousands, of songs long. Like there's so many one hit wonders. To your point.
The Calling. Do you remember? Wherever
If
you will
I
go, The
could,
Calling.
then I would. Yeah,
Listen, that show was a bad. Like I know we're making fun of it, but like I
yeah.
love that song.
Or like
But
Lifehouse, Hanging by a Moment. Now you got me just
oh my
spiraling into that
God.
genre of like
That's what
just
I'm saying.
generic
Like that
alt rock.
genre was that for like a decade. It was just
Yeah.
like there were bangers in there, but a lot of them got overlooked. There was and also it's not them, but the Daughtry of it all, like
I
Daughtry did
don't.
that.
Did Daughtry
Finger
really blow? I
11.
didn't get. I think I was like done with MTV and the radio at
That
that point in
wasn't
my
like
life.
my
So
vibe. I just mean that's one
okay.
that reminds me of that era of they had a couple hits, I think, and then they disappeared. But one that was like that I did like was Finger 11. Like they did that Paralyzer song that was really a banger.
Yeah, the guitar in
And
that's pretty catchy. They also,
yeah.
fun fact, because I'm a wrestling fan, they did like a wrestler's theme at one point. So they took his theme song and made their own version of it with lyrics and stuff, and it was actually pretty good. It's called Slow Chemical. So
Okay,
yeah.
that checks out.
And like we're doing all these, and we haven't even touched on 80s. There's a friggin' like
There are
Take
so
on
many.
Me. I Ran So Far Away.
Freaking Vanilla Ice. Like
Was
the
he
one
late
off
80s,
that
early
is
90s? He was like,
he
and
was
actually, I would
80s.
challenge that because I think Ninja Rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is a bop. I don't know if it blew up as big, but I would say he's got 2 hits to his name, and that one didn't have any Queen samples in it. So,
Fair. I mean, one that Tainted Love, that was a one off for sure.
that's one of my
Yeah.
favorites of that era too.
Yeah.
Blue Monday.
Yeah.
I forget who that. I know Orgy ended up covering that, and that was their one hit too. It's ironic that was kind of like a one hit wonder for 2 different bands.
Well, and that speaking of covers, that Blinded by the Light was a Bruce Springsteen song, but it didn't get famous until it was covered. And oh fuck, who covered it? The cover band was a one-hit wonder because
Blinded
like
by
that
the
was their
Light.
one good cover.
Huh. I don't know that one, honestly. For being from New Jersey, I don't know that many Bruce Springsteen songs.
It's like it's a 3-namer band, and I keep wanting to say the wrong band. But anyways, they cover it. They cover that song to much acclaim, and then that charts, and it actually brings attention to Bruce Springsteen's original, and then they vanish. Like I don't think they do anything else.
Well, I mean, we could go. I mean, we could do a whole episode of
We
this.
got some 70s representation. We had 80s representation.
90s,
We had some
aughts.
90s. We had some 2000s. Like I think we're doing pretty good. I looked at some ones in the 2020s, but I don't think we can say that yet. Like it's too
Yeah, they might
soon
circle
to
back
say.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carly Rae Jepsen,
Anyway.
did she have more than Just Call Me Maybe? That was like 2010s, right?
I don't think so. I think that's it. Would we
Yeah.
call her a one-hit wonder now? Her time has lapsed.
I'm sure I think she's still touring too, and putting out new music. But I think as far as radio play,
Gautier, somebody that I
that
used to
is
know.
the most like that song was fucking
Yeah.
everywhere.
And the problem with it is actually that's the one that the album is good as well. And
I heard that.
But that song is so deeply over. Like you can't hear it now. It's so
There was a
oversaturated.
point, dude, where when Pandora was, before Spotify, everyone was using Pandora, and they still are. It's still around. But
it was a Pandora baby,
yeah, there was a point in time where I could put on any Pandora station, pick any artist you want,
and that
if
song
you
was on
didn't
it.
thumbs up or thumbs down any of the songs, eventually it would get to Gautier, somebody I used to know, every fucking channel. So that song was just accessible to everyone.
Do you know what I loved about Pandora, though? Not to go on like a side quest, but I liked that I felt it really was good at introducing you to new music as well.
Oh, absolutely. Spotify
Versus,
tries, but I feel like their playlists are not as good.
Right. Like Spotify, I feel like I end up in a loop because it's like if I like this one song and I play it for like a few days, then now I'm only a fan of this type of genre. And that continues until I break the algorithm. Versus I feel like Pandora, you put on a station and it would really act like a radio station. You would hear a new song here and there and you'd go down that rabbit hole. So like I do miss that about Pandora, I will say.
I hear that. We do need to be careful. We should probably stop this though, because this podcast goes on Spotify and they're going to be like, you're just plugging our competition. So
it's true. It's true. We like charted pretty high with them last year, and this year they're going to be like, fuck you, you're out. Like, okay, we were just kidding. Spotify, we apologize.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about the one-hit wonders in that thing.
Let's
you do.
do it. The Oneaters. Welcome back to We Drink and We Watch Things. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Lemar.
And we are at our final entry for Lamar's birthday month, where he got to pick every single film this month. Yay.
Which, thank you for that again, because you have said in the past that your love language is giving gifts. You're very proud of the fact that you give incredible gifts for holidays and birthdays. And I think you know me. You know I like talking about the things I love. You know I'm very passionate about the movies I like. You know I like the sound of my own voice. So the best thing you could have given me was the choice of which movies we talk about. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're also getting a charcuterie board, but that's
nice. Okay, I love meat and cheese too, so double win.
We're crushing it. All right. So we're going to round things out with one that I was very happy that you chose
Yeah.
because you had a lot of options and I was very excited to do this one. We are covering That Thing You Do.
Which, like, I can't remember if we talked about this after we wrapped last week or if it was on the episode, so apologies if I'm repeating myself, but it did strike me when we announced this one that 3 out of the 4 this month have been super music related. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
tracks because I've always been huge
It's your
into to
vibe.
music, working at Hot Topic for 10 years of my life and just putting on different albums every single day. So it totally tracks that, Scott Pilgrim and even the Bo Burnham
Yeah.
special, and this one and some of my backups, I was like, oh, we could do Rocky Horror Picture, like that one.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of music in here. And I did not plan that, but it's very fitting, I think.
No, I like that. We've talked about that before too. On like a couple music heavy ones that we covered, like A Knight's Tale is one of my favorite for the
Hmm.
music. We mentioned in the Cold Open Guardians is one. Like I love that alignment of, I mean, and like I grew up on the musical family and on the music scene in Austin and all of that. And so like I love a movie with good music. And this is absolutely one like that. And it tells a very unique story. So
It's
this is a
loaded
fun
front
one
to back. The soundtrack to this,
for
not
sure.
just the wonder. I was going to say, like in the context of the movie, they're one hit wonders, but they have 2 or 3 other really great songs that they play in this,
They do.
and then all the original stuff they wrote for the other genres, like the Chantrellines and
Mm,
Freddie Fredrickson, like all those songs that are
yeah.
meant to be of that era of different genres. They're all bangers too. Like it's just a front
Yeah.
to back loaded soundtrack.
The guy who intros them at the festival, I can't remember his name,
That's
but he's
Freddie
giving like
Fredrickson, I think.
oh,
The
okay,
guy in the
he's
suit with the
giving
glasses. Yeah.
yeah, he's giving like Dean Martin and all that,
Oh,
like
for
they
sure.
have the genres covered and they only mention a couple of actual musicians. Most of them are manufactured to be representative of somebody else, which I think they do it really well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are very excited, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah.
We have not talked about our drink. So what are you drinking today?
Yeah, so I wanted to make something sweet, something tart. So we're calling this That Thing We Drink with an exclamation point at the end, obviously. But 2 ounces of vodka. I upped the grenadine and lime proportions on this. You guys can experiment based on how sweet or sour you want this to be. So half an ounce of grenadine, half an ounce of lime, 3 ounces of ginger beer. Like I said, I doubled basically all of those. And yeah, you're going to shake everything except for the ginger beer up, pour it into a Moscow Mule mug with ice, and then you're going to top it off with as much ginger beer as you like. So, cheers.
Fun. Cheers. I'm cheersing you with my Snoopy mug. We're not quite at spooky season yet, but I'm manifesting.
Well, you know that we don't have to include this if we don't want to, but with my birthday coming up on Friday, we're not going to be in the country for Halloween, which is our favorite holiday. So for my birthday in August, we're just having a Halloween party. So
I know.
our living room is already all Halloweened out. So you'd be proud of
I'm
us.
so ready.
Yeah,
I'm so
spooky
ready.
season
I'm
is
also
basically here.
ready to have a cocktail again. So someday, no, I'm just kidding. And I'm about a week out. I'm about a week out, fam. I can have a cocktail. We're so close. All right, kids. Let's do some basics and then let's get into the good stuff because we are ready to obviously talk about this one. So, obviously, That Thing You Do. This is 1996. And I think it does a good job of not reminding you of that. Just a little side note.
I
It's
think
not
the
what
fact that it takes place in the 60s also helps it because it's made to
that's what
feel
I
of
mean.
another
Like,
time. So, yeah.
it doesn't even feel like it's certainly a period piece, quote unquote, but I just think they do a good job of like you can't really tell when this is made because of the type of movie that it is, and I think it's fun when you
Facts.
can fully immerse in that way. So 1996, like we said, it's got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 93% from critics, and 78% from audiences,
I'm
which
surprised
is
that's so
dumb.
low.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's silly. Like even if you're not, you don't have to be a huge, music fan or, that kind of fan to watch this type of movie. I don't think so. I don't know.
I mean, it's a little hokey and cheesy. Like the plot itself is like a little
Sure.
over the top, and I think it's meant to be a bit tongue in cheek, but I think it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it's supposed to be hyperbolic, in terms of being a version of this story that is exaggerated, but they're absolutely fulfilling some tropes of this kind of band and these kinds of, one hit wonders. I mean, they're doing it so they're pointing at the joke the whole time. They're the
yeah,
wonders, so
yeah. I
I
love the
think it works.
journey it takes us on. That
Yeah,
it's kind of how I would imagine a band. Like they have the whole scene of them picking a band name and be like having this
so
debate
good.
around it, which is so great. And then just how quickly, okay, they do a talent show, they blow up, they go on
Mhm.
this thing. Now they're like on the Ed Sullivan show, basically. And then I'm spoiling the whole movie right now, but I
Yeah, I
just
haven't
love the
thrown down a
journey it
spoiler
takes us
warning.
on.
Come on, guy.
only had 30 years to watch this, but
Yeah, you guys are behind. Okay, so some quick other basics. Obviously, Tom Hanks in his directorial debut.
yeah,
He
because
is
he's an actor, yeah, doesn't he? He's in movies.
He's in movies. He does a
Okay.
few things here and there. Yeah. And he decided to take a chance at writing and directing. But fun fact, I did want to talk about him as the actor versus the director. So as a director, he did direct Band of Brothers, the long form series, which you have seen, I think, and I have not. So I don't
Like
really.
not every episode, I would imagine.
No,
Like
I
a
think
couple
he's
left.
like
Okay,
one of the co-directors.
cool.
Usually there's one or two eps in there that they do.
Band of Brothers is very good.
Yeah, and he also did Larry Crown, which was like decent. I think
I think that was
it's
his
very.
only other directorial film. I don't know why he gave it up,
He did
but
Greyhound as well, but I
oh,
haven't
okay,
seen
my bad.
it, so I can't speak to that. But it looks like another Sully, like just from the cover. I don't know if that's accurate, but
Is it about
it's
a
giving
bus
us.
driver? It says it's called Greyhound. I didn't see
I
it.
don't. I don't know. I don't know what it's about. I didn't even look into it, but
It's
I
just
do have
Sully, but
questions.
now he's a bus driver instead of a pilot. It's just a
Yeah, shake
sequel.
it up, totally different character. But then we have, I wanted to call out people who have worked with him repeatedly. So our cinematographer here is Tak Fujimoto. He has worked with Tom Hanks before, and we have a big enough cast that that's kind of my focus on this list is just who has worked with him before and in what. He worked with him in Philadelphia. And also he's known for like Silence of the Lambs and The Sixth Sense,
Oh,
which I wanted to point out because it's a very different vibe, obviously. And then we have, speaking of music, Howard Shore, who did Philadelphia with him as well. Same thing. And, we know him obviously from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all those. And so I thought it's a very different take to do this film as well.
nice.
So major cast and crew here. It's actually a pretty big cast. So I'm going to try and do it quick. Like I said, I'm going to focus on stuff that they have done with Tom Hanks if they have. And then we'll, mention a couple others here and there. So our first one is Tom Everett Scott, who plays Guy Skitch Shades. He's got lots of nicknames in this one, which is funny. He was actually, fun fact, they didn't want to cast him because Tom Hanks thought he looked too much like young Tom Hanks.
I could see that. Yeah.
And Rita Wilson, his wife, talked him into it. So here we are, which I think is great. He was a great fit.
He's also in something called Surrender Dorothy that has nothing to do with The Wizard of Oz. And I thought that was such bad marketing. It's apparently like about a loss of a child, and it's a really fucked up plot line, but it's called Surrender Dorothy. And I just, yeah.
And you're like,
that.
that's not related at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact though, he is in La La Land. My fave.
I was going to say, it's kind of sad watching this because they don't end up together. He ends up with Emma Stone in La La Land. So,
you know what? I'm not going to let you rain on my parade here today. It's not going to happen.
But I mean, we did that episode and we addressed it in that too. I was like, oh, she ends up with the drummer from the Oneaters. Good for her, So
The
we did a La La
Oneaters.
Land episode, guys.
It's a crossover. It's like we planned it.
Yeah.
So speaking of ending up together, Liv Tyler plays Faye Dolan, and she has actually not done anything with Tom Hanks before, but we know her from the things, Lord of the Rings, Armageddon, yada yada. And then Jonathan, other music videos, yes. Johnathon Schaech plays Jimmy. He did Prom Night.
The remake, which was fucking horrible. Yeah. I mean, the first Prom Night isn't great. People remember it as being good because Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, but it's not that good. But the remake is fucking abysmal.
Real bad.
It's literally,
I feel bad for him.
Spoilers if you're going to go watch the remake of Prom Night. The prom is taking place in a hotel. So that's downstairs of the hotel, and all the students have their rooms upstairs in the hotel. The whole, 80% of the movie is literally one person leaves the dance and is like, I'm going to go to my hotel room, and gets killed. And then 10 minutes later, somebody else is like, where's Robbie? I'll go upstairs and look in the hotel room, and gets killed. And then 10 minutes later, where'd Jennifer go? I'm going to go up to the hotel. It's like rinse and repeat.
Just on repeat.
It was, and I love a good slasher movie. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
No. Okay. Good to know. I wasn't going to run to see it, but now I am super not going to see it. But I do feel bad for him because he's decent in this, and he's obviously a handsome guy. I don't know how he just fell off. Talk about a one-hit wonder.
TV, it seems like nowadays.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. But gem that he is, Mr. Steve Zahn is in this, and he plays Lenny. Love him. He has done something with Tom Hanks, and I forgot that, but You've Got Mail. he did with him.
I don't even remember him being. I just remember he was on a tear during this era. I don't.
Yeah.
This was the first thing I remember seeing him in, but then he went on to do in like a 3-year period. He did like Joyride, Saving Silverman, Strange Wilderness, and then even recently he was on The White Lotus, the first season of that, semi-recently. But he's still doing a bunch of cool shit. He's very talented and hilarious.
He's so funny. I just like, he just brings joy to the screen when you watch him. So I love that.
Also, apparently, besties with Tom Everett Scott. Was the best man at his wedding, and they both ended up playing the same character in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Like, one was playing the dad in the first 3 movies, and then the other one took over. So they're so close that they can just take movie roles from each other.
They're like, you know what? Here's this one for you. I just sort of tee it up for you.
It's in the contract.
I love that. I love it. Okay, so we have Ethan Embry, who plays TB Player. They never named him, fun fact. But we have seen him and talked about him many times. Can't Hardly Wait. We've referenced, of course, he's in Empire Records and Sweet Home Alabama. To me, he's just like everything I've seen him in. And I'm like, he's that person. And I watched a making of this to prep, and he's this person. Like, he just seems like that.
Well, remember in the Can't Hardly Wait episode, we talked about how he was just a huge stoner. And I think that might have just been on that one set, but I would buy it that he just showed up here and was like, I just have to act kind of nerdy and goofy. I'm just going to get high. This is going to be a great experience. But like, I was going to say, to your point of him always kind of feeling the same way, have you seen a movie called Cheap Thrills?
No.
It was a Draft House Recommends title from 2015 or 16. And it has Ethan Embry in a very non-Ethan Embry role. He's obviously like much older and kind of like grizzled. He's got like a beard. It's a silly plot. Janelle didn't love it. I really dug it because I thought it was different, but it is a little hard to watch because it's basically like 2 dudes who were buddies in high school meet up at a bar randomly, and then they run into this rich guy who's basically like paying them money to do dares. That's the whole plot of the movie, and they just keep escalating. And he's like, I'll give you $5,000 to go do this fucked up thing. And it's like Jackass, but really dark. And yeah, it's I really enjoy it. It's like this dark comedy thriller thing. But I really, really like it. I won't spoil anything, but go watch Cheap Thrills if you haven't. It's a good movie. Small cast.
Would you do that? Quick side quest. Would you do the dares for $5,000?
To an extent. It gets rough.
It gets a little rough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch and we'll report back. Yeah. All right. So Tom Hanks plays Mr. Amos White. He's the agent and manager later on. And of course, he's done a lot of things with Tom Hanks. He's done Forrest Gump. He's done Saving Private Ryan. Has
he ever done one of those movies where he plays multiple roles? Because then he literally has like worked with Tom Hanks, but like he hasn't done the Nutty Professor bit where he plays like 6 roles and there were the multiplicity. I don't know if he has. I was
gonna say, I'm trying to think of one where he would have done that. I don't.
Wasn't he like everyone in the Polar Express? Didn't he do like multiple voices?
Oh, that's true. He does all the voices.
There we go. We found it. He works with Tom Hanks in the Polar
Express. He works with Tom Hanks in the Polar Express. Oh, I love it. Okay, we also have Charlize Theron, which I forget that she's in this every time until she shows up as Miss Tina Powers. She's a baby. She's got baby face. She has not worked with Tom Hanks before or since. She, however, of course, is known probably for Mad Max Fury Road most, but we covered her on Atomic Blonde. And maybe others, but I think for sure that one.
This was her like official film debut. She had done like a shitty Children of the Corn sequel that she was uncredited in, but this was her actual film debut, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, she does a good job. Then we also have Abba Babatunde, who plays Lemar, spelled incorrectly, we would say, on this podcast. Street in Austin. Yeah, but with 2 R's too. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but he did work with Tom Hanks in the Philadelphia Story. So another Philadelphia Story person.
I do still occasionally say, my name is Lemar and I own this or run this hotel. Like,
this is my hotel. Every
so often. Yeah, this is my hotel.
This is my hotel. I love that. All right, Chris Ellis plays Phil Horace. I wanted to shout him out because he's their first manager. Like, he's not here for a lot of time, but he matters.
He's very likable, and I feel like he's in other stuff where he's just like a likable dad or like father figure character.
Or like a stern father figure, a la Apollo 13, which he did with Tom Hanks. And he has the same vibe in that for sure. Bill Cobbs appears as Del Paxton, and he is not he's one of those where I think you recognize him, but you haven't seen him. You can't place him in what you've seen him in. He was in Night at the Museum, which I still haven't seen. I'm sorry. So I don't know what his role was in that.
I mean, I just always assumed he was actually a musician. Like, I didn't realize he was an actor. I thought they were just like using an actual musician because he does play the piano in this, right?
I don't think he's the one actually playing.
Okay.
No.
I assumed he was like an actual jazz musician in real life.
He gives jazz musician vibes.
For sure.
100%. 100%.
He could have been in Sinners. Like, I would have bought, like, they could have had him sit in for, who's the, I'm going to get so much shit for not remembering who the actual guitar, it's Buddy Guy, I think.
Buddy Guy, yes.
Yeah.
You didn't get shit because you did it. I'm so proud of you.
I'm glad I got there because I was about to,
phone a friend.
Learn your music history. We spent the first 10 minutes of this episode talking about music.
I'm a big Buddy Guy fan. I would have caught you. Don't worry. All right. Rita Wilson, obviously Tom Hanks' wife, plays Marguerite. She makes a quick turn here. Not a huge one, but I thought it was worth calling out.
And her tatas are out and about. And Tom Hanks, I mean, he's just showing off. He's like, this is what I get to take home after.
I was kind of like, who picked this costume? Like, I forgot about this costume. Damn. And
she wears it well.
She's like flirting with Tom Everett hard, too. I'm like, this is so weird to watch.
What was Tom Hanks? What was the direction behind the camera on these scenes? I wonder. But then you also get the whole families here. Colin and Elizabeth both have little appearances too. I think it's the only movie the whole family has ever been in together.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dad's project. You got to show up. Everybody's got to do their 2 cents. You got to work for free, obviously, do all the things. We have a couple more in here that I'm going to, just reference. We have Kevin Pollak plays the boss, Vic Kostovich. So what a name. I can't. He was in October Sky. We have Holmes Osborne, who plays Mr. Patterson, his dad. I love their recurring bit with the light. It's hilarious to me. He was in The Usual Suspects, which I forgot totally that he's in
the other guy that Boss Vic Koss is in The Usual Suspects. He's one of the main 4 characters in The Usual Suspects, like the lineup.
Yeah, man, look at Tom Hanks. Look at him drawing all these just big
I'm surprised
names.
He hasn't directed more, honestly.
Because everyone wants to work with him. He's such a nice guy. I could just see it. And then we have some cameos. As you mentioned, Colin Hanks. Clint Howard plays a disc jockey. Bryan Cranston plays a Gemini, as he says it, astronaut. Gemini. And then we have Larry Antonino, who plays the replacement bass player, and then Giovanni Ribisi, who is the original drummer, gets replaced.
I love that again, I'm getting into spoiler territory, guys. I'm not sorry, but the family subplot is so weird that he kind of they switch places when Guy joins the band.
Just plug in, plug out.
He just goes and hangs out with his family, which is so fucking odd, but hilarious.
It's because but it's a different dynamic. I think he's into the girl. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. Quick plot summary and then spoiler throwdown, and then we're going to go. So a local Pennsylvania band scores a one-hit wonder in 1964 and rides the star-making machinery as long as they can with lots of help from their manager. Accurate, fair, turn around, don't drown. It's spoiler time.
It's been spoiler time.
Spoiler time. Lamar's already doing it. He's just giving you spoilers. And
I think we've only got 5 minutes worth of conversation left to have.
That's true.
But I wanted to start by just saying this is the reason I picked this. It's just such a comfort film for me. And I think it's so fitting that it's a Tom Hanks written and directed because it is the most Tom Hanks feel. It's wholesome, it's heartwarming, and it's humorous, and it's adorable. There's just so many Tom Hanks isms, and it just feels so much like him. And that's I could throw this on anytime and be in a good mood.
100%. And it's so funny you say it feels like Tom Hanks. There's this one moment at the end when he's talking, I know I'm jumping around, but he's talking to Guy, and this is the he's trying to lead a horse to water kind of thing, and he just gives him this Tom Hanks look. And I hope you know what I mean when I say that, because I can't do it. But
where he kind of squints,
kind of squints.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
It's kind of the think about this, son.
Yeah.
You can just hear it in your head. And I just saw that and I was just like, that's just Tom. It's just Tom in real life. And he's just a wholesome dad who's trying to give you good advice. And it's so cute. And then when he insults Jimmy at one point, it's the softest but most cutting insult it could possibly be. It's the same guy who said you had class, Jimmy, walks out. And it's
that burn. And even it feels like he kind of picks at Jimmy a little bit throughout the film because he realizes Jimmy's ego is going to get in the way of all of this.
Yeah.
He even, when they get the original contract, Jimmy's I want to go. Jimmy's keeps referring to wanting to record more records, and he has so many other good songs. He's kind of sick of that thing you do, it feels like. And he's like, hey, can we go re-record it? We only got one cut on this. And Tom Hanks just blows him off. He's like, I think it sounds fine.
Yeah.
Cool. We're not worried about that song. We want the one that's on the radio to be popular.
Well, I think it's like, don't feed the beast. You know, he's kind of taken that approach of like, I'm not going to engage with the ego monster that is in front of me, and I'm just going to like manage away from him. And I think overall it's a very effective strategy. Like, don't feed into that shit. And I like that vibe.
Jimmy's a low-key good, I wouldn't call him a villain, but he is kind of like douchey.
Oh, he's
and
a villain.
I wouldn't even say hateable, but he's just like, he's a good foil to Guy and Lenny. Even at the beginning, he says, oh, it's come play this song with us. It's a song I wrote. And Lenny elbows him and he's like, oh, we wrote. So he's already showing that in the very beginning of the film, that he's kind of like, I'm the artist and I'm the talent and da-da-da.
Well, I think that's also why he's so threatened by Guy, because Guy is also an artist. He just has a different approach. You know, he's a real musician who cares a lot about the music and also knows his shit. It's just that Jimmy's the songwriter, which is an easy end to being the artist in a band. And, you know, but it is the impetus of their success, which of course, you know, Faye says later, of like, none of this would have happened if you hadn't joined the band, because he literally changes the tempo of the song. And the artist vision of Jimmy would have limited that if it wasn't for Guy.
Yeah.
You know,
and he even gets mad at him afterward. He's like, that was way too fast, way too. Meanwhile, they're winning the talent show. And I love that scene of, it's the most like local talent show of all time. You've got like the hippie girl band. You've got like the cat call dude and the fry. I love his interactions with the host. And he's like, eat my shorts. Kenny's like, shut the fuck up, I'll kick your ass. Like, he doesn't say fuck, it's not an R-rated movie. But that engagement, and then like the mariachi band that everyone fucking loves. Like, it just feels like the most local college show, basically. And the fact that like the drums hit that tempo and you see people start to like dance with it, and it's like, this just bops. It works.
It's so funny because it feeds into these stereotypes about drummers. And I think we've talked about this on the pod before, but my dad's a drummer and I grew up on the music scene in Austin. And, you know, he's not this drummer, to be clear, who will just hijack the band. But that is such a stereotype of drummers, of like, they are just moving to their own beat, right? Like, it's my beat or everybody get out of here, you know? And so I just love that you see him kind of zone out, which is, by the way, absolutely a drummer thing. If you've never done it before, look at drummer faces while they're drumming. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see. And he just zones out and is like, no, that's not the tempo. Like, it's very not my tempo, but like kind of.
This would be a good double feature with Whiplash. Just intercut it. Not quite my tempo, Guy.
Right.
I assume you said your dad was a drummer.
My dad is the drummer. Yeah.
I assume that he's heard that joke of like, what's got 4 legs and an asshole on top? A drum stool. Like, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm glad my dad doesn't listen to the pod, because he'd be pretty upset about that. But here's the thing I'll say about a lot of drummers, including but not limited to Guy and my dad, is like, they're usually the most liked person in the band because they are often the most chill. Like, they are not usually the douchebag a la the Jimmys, you know?
Right.
The singer-songwriter is often that person. It takes a certain kind of person to do that. And I have been in those bands and I have worked around those bands, and that's the vibe. So I just think Guy is such a good, again, we talked about it being like hyperbolic stereotypes. He is a good stereotype for this character, and they actually all are. And when I watched the like making of or whatever that I was telling you about, that Tom Hanks goes through each character and explains kind of the trope that they're supposed to fit. And he does a great job of it. Like, that's exactly what he was going for, of each of these characters kind of fit into a bucket. And they think it's funny that the original bass player never got named. They were like, we just never got around to it.
The IMDb facts where they even said, because I didn't pick up on that, you know, I saw this in 96 when it came out. And I didn't pick up on that for the first couple times I saw the movie, that he never gets a name. And then you see in the credits the TV player. I also didn't learn until today when I was looking at the IMDb facts that even the scene where there's the montage of them touring on the state fair tour and all that. And Liv Tyler, Faye, goes and takes and introduces him to the Chantrellines. And if you read the lips, it says, this is our bass player. She doesn't even introduce him by name. She says, this is our bass player. So he sticks with the bit, you know?
And there's an extended cut also, so I have the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, and it has the regular cut and the extended cut. And the
Okay.
extended cut gives you a few more scenes. Like it's not way longer, but it gives you a few more scenes that give you some Guy and Faye background of like them getting closer. There's a little bit more of
Let's.
that.
I'm glad. Keep going, but I want to spend some
Yeah.
time on that.
Yeah, so I think that's one, if we're talking weaknesses, I think that is one of the weaknesses here. And it's one of
Yes.
those things that I think just happened in the edit, right? Like it's clearly filmed that they are bonding and getting closer, but it gets cut in the edit. And you just get these moments of him just being sweet to her and, you know, checking on her. And when, of course, her and Jimmy are not interacting and all these things. And she's, of course, sweet and loved by everybody. But in the extended cut, they do a better job of one showing the bass player like kind of off on his own little side quests, but also Guy and Faye like bonding more and even actually flirting a little bit more. And like there's this more of an implication that they like each other and are
Yeah.
just not able to do something about it.
I wonder how much of that was Tom Hanks or the editing room being like, well, we don't want to make Guy less likable. He's got this whole wounded puppy thing because his girlfriend dumps him for her dentist, which is a great bit. All day
Yeah.
at the dentist. That's another line that I love. But maybe they just didn't want it to be like, oh, he's like flirting with his singer's girlfriend right in front of him while they're
Yeah.
on tour. Like I could see how that might not read well. But honestly, I could do without the love story. I think this movie would work perfectly fine without it. But if you're going to leave it in, to your point, I needed more scenes that you're talking about because it comes out of nowhere. There's like one scene, I think, where he, comforts her when she's sick on the plane. And then there's nothing until like basically the last day when the band breaks up and she looks at the photo of the two of them and is like, oh, I kind of like him. And then he out of nowhere is like, I need to kiss Faye. It just feels a little forced in the last 5 minutes.
I do think in this cut it feels a little forced. Maybe this is the girl in me because I saw like several things I think that allude to it. It's not heavy-handed by any means like you're saying. I'm not saying that. But there's just like these subtle things even in the theatrical cut that I think you could read into if you wanted. The plane's the biggest one for sure,
Yeah.
but he also, he tells her she looks gorgeous. He says, when she wants to talk to everybody, he's like, "Hey, everybody be quiet. Faye wants to speak,"
At the worst possible fucking time, because it's when she
at the
gets it
worst
super
possible
emotional.
time.
Hey, the fair Faye. And she's like,
Right.
Jimmy, I fucking hate you. You broke my heart, you piece of shit. It's like, oh, I don't think he knew what he was introing there. He would have been a little less excited about it. He also has that line, though. This ties into the running joke about the bass player, because he's drunk talking to Rita Wilson's character and says like, oh yeah, we're great. We got me, we got Jimmy, Lenny, and Faye. And that ties both things together. He doesn't name the bass player, and he also like has this thing about Faye, so she's part of the band,
Well, I think she is part of the band. And again, even in the making of, Tom Hanks says that he was like, I think she would consider herself an honorary member of the band, but she also would never claim that or say that out loud. And it's just, she is actually critical to their success. She helps name them. She goes on tour with them. She's fucking selling merch for them. And she's, Jimmy's biggest fan. And I think that's why, she glommed onto that, like his poetry and his artist lens that he has. And she loves that, but I don't think she loves his partnership, right? Like he hasn't taken care of her and been good to her. And even to your point at the end, when Guy asks her when she's been well and good and kissed, it's not Jimmy.
No,
it's some random dude long time ago. And like, that's super sad, right?
What year does she say? It's nice. This movie
61.
So it's been 3 years since she's been good and kissed.
Yeah.
Which
and she's been with Jimmy for 2.5. Remember? Like,
right. So as much as I don't love the last 5-minute love story, that is a pretty good line. When's the last time you were good and kissed? Like steal that one, guys. And that's consent right there. Go ahead, make out with me,
I mean, it'd work. Also, speaking of, guess what his shtick is? Guy's shtick. What's the thing that is his shtick that I would be into?
Are you is shtick standing in for kink here? I'm confused what you're asking.
No, his like move, the sunglasses move.
Oh, you love sunglasses. Yeah.
Well, but like again, sunglasses make you cooler. Tom Hanks gets it. Like he gives him the sunglasses. He's like, "Come on, Shades. Like you're gonna be great." Anyway, I'm just saying it works.
That's a good band manager move. Like we're gonna make the drummer kind of stand out.
Right. You need like them to have characters. They are each a character, and that's his character, and his character is Shades. And I was like, of course, the guy who's the nice one gets to be the guy wearing the sunglasses. I'm just saying it worked, and Tom Hanks understood it.
Yeah, I totally agree. The last thing that I think I don't need in this movie that I don't think works entirely, the whole I am Spartacus bit, it just never hits. Every time I watch this, I love this fucking movie front to back. But every time he does the I am Spartacus, that makes Guy feel like a douche to me. And I just, the running, him saying it throughout the film, and then him naming the song that at the end when he jams, it's just, I don't need that line.
I mean, I don't think it makes him seem like a douche. I think it makes him seem like a goof.
Yeah.
Like I think he feels goofy, but he's just like, it's of the era because that movie had just come out.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
that movie would have just come out. But I agree, it's like you have to really, be into the era, I guess, would be the thing that I would say. But it does make him look goofy.
I would have taken a different movie reference. I would have been like, what do you call that? All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh my God, that's so dark. I don't think that works for this one. No. This is that thing you do. That's a little too heavy. But I do, I hear you. I don't think it's, it's not the standout for me of like, oh, that's so funny.
It's just the one piece of dialogue that for as clever and well written as this is for Tom Hanks, that's like the one. But I guess to your point, if it is like a cultural reference in that era, that makes it make more sense to me. But aside from that, dude, I think this movie is just so enjoyable. It's a popcorn flick for sure. And just the song makes the film, like all the soundtrack is great. But the fact that you hear this song like 11 times, not always in its entirety, but I'm never sick of it by the end of the film. It is just like, it's something you can hear on the radio 3 times a day and never get sick of for, at least a couple months.
Well, and most people agree with you, including me, but the soundtrack itself peaked at 21 on the Billboard chart.
Wow.
So like the songs on this are bangers, and like Dance With Me I think is the one that I really enjoy as well. Like, and I mean I like them all, but those are I think probably the top 2 for me. Mm-hmm. But it actually served as a launch pad for, it's like Playtone's a fake label, right? It's supposed to be an amalgamation of all these other labels back then. But because this charted so well and did well as a soundtrack, this actually led to Tom Hanks making a Playtone label for real where they released future soundtracks. So it's like,
do you know offhand if there are any that we would have heard, or any famous songs that were on?
I remember reading a couple of them, but I don't remember them offhand. But they're certainly like Bring It On, I think was one of them, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then there's one that was a TV show that I'm forgetting, but yeah, he released those soundtracks on there. And I think his subsequent films in general, like that was his little side hustle of like, this is going to go on Playtone and be released by Playtone. So I think that's super cool that the music itself is good enough that they actually, charted as well as a band. It's not these guys, just to be clear. It's to your point, it was, written by Fountains of Wayne's, Adam Schlesinger. And then the frontman of it was Mike Viola. He's the singer. So like Jimmy's voice is Mike Viola.
Was Mike Viola an artist in another band or like solo?
He was in the Candy Butchers, but I don't know their stuff. So he was an artist, but yeah. So, I mean, it's a great little band. It's a great little fake band.
It's just, like I said, I think there's something about the music in this that definitely keeps me coming back, and anything where there's like little, not necessarily musicals all the time, but music we've talked about. Like, I think there's a difference between musicals and musical films. And this is what I would consider like a musical film, where there's just every 10 minutes you're listening to a song. And I just think it all works front to back. Like I said, the script is so tight, and I was quoting it. Like, I was watching it last night before bed, and I was probably annoying Janelle because I was quoting everything that makes me laugh in this. Like, I can quote half of this film of like, guys, Chad fell down. I love that line from Ethan Embry. I love when they're talking to fucking Chris Isaac, who plays a pastor of all things in this, who did like the Wicked Game. I remember watching that when I was way too young to watch that very sexy music video, but he's playing a pastor in this. And when they're like, when's the record going to be ready? And he goes, Luke 39:14, whatever it is. And Ethan Embry quotes like, the Bible verse, like, your patience possess your souls. And then when he's like, Luke, who's Luke? When are we getting the record? That it's a clever fucking script.
Wednesday.
Very funny. Again, very Tom Hanks, charming.
It is charming, but like, it's kind of, I love that he wrote it, because you kind of like, not to say that he couldn't, but he just hasn't dabbled in that. And for not having done that yet, it's such a tight script. I agree. I really like the, he's talking to the whole band. He's giving everybody their instructions. He gives guys the sunglasses. He tells Faye she's, in charge of the costumes, like whatever. And then he turns to Ethan Embry and he's like, you Semper Fi,
Semper Fi.
and walks out. Like, that's just so like, it's just like a little something something. And he also has that like dad disappointed face in that conversation too, of like, but you will be with the band until August, right? And I just like, you can feel like, yes,
Is this
sir,
a mutiny
yes,
already? Yeah.
right. And I just love that. But I also really like that you mentioned earlier that Jimmy is not a villain. I like the tie-ins at the end where,
Mm-hmm.
again, this is not a real story, but they treat it like it's a real, music
You
documentary
get like
kind
an
of
epilogue.
story. Yeah, and I love and hate that Jimmy is so talented that they would work with him again, and he's going to have this other band and be in the Herdsman and like get to do it his way, and he goes gold on those. But you do see you see that possibility here, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
of how well this goes. But you do see why he's a douchebag and like why people don't like him, and he's shitty to Faye. She's literally just there to feed his ego. So I mean, he mistreats her the whole time, and he ignores her. He doesn't care that she's sick. He doesn't care that she's there. He doesn't like, he just uses her, and he flirts with somebody else in front of her. And
I mean, to
so
be fair,
it's,
it's Diane Dane, Mackenzie.
but
Diane fucking Dane. So
obviously you would obviously, cheat on your partner for Diane Dane. But I just think it's so realistic in an annoying way, right? Of like,
yeah.
this is one of those tropes that vibes. Of course, he's going to go on to be successful. Of course, all these things. And I love that, Guy and Faye get their little happy ending, but there's another version of the ending where he was going to be a session player in LA and just stay, and they weren't going to end up together.
That's the
And
La La Land ending. I'm telling you.
yeah.
That's the alternate reality.
I know I don't like that in this one. I like that they end up together. I
I
think
like
it's
that they
cute.
end up together, but again, I just needed those couple extra scenes to really drive home that they've had feelings for each other. Because for as
Mhm.
much as Jimmy's mistreating her, like the line when they're on the plane and Guy walks up into the group and is like, "Faye's not feeling so well," and Jimmy just turns to
Just
Mr.
like
White
fucking
and is
ignores
like,
him. He's
"So
like, I want to
what's
know
the
when we're
thing up?"
recording.
Like just goes right to business, doesn't
I
give a
know.
shit. So yeah, I just needed a couple extra scenes of them bonding to make me buy that a little more. There's one
I
other. Good.
I did like his line though, where when Jimmy says, I should have broken up with you in Pittsburgh, like the real asshole that he is. I like that Guy is like, why couldn't you have broken up with her in Pittsburgh? Like, I
Yeah.
could have been on. I thought that was such an organic reaction that made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why you saying that just triggered me. You said Pittsburgh, and I wanted to go Steubenville. When they're like
You're
the cities
channeling
we
your
could visit.
inner.
That's
Your...
being a touring band, I guess. Um, but yeah, like I do. I love the epilogues. I like that everyone kind of gets what they want, and we get like a funny,
Yeah.
whiny send off of he's just basically a gambling addict and has been married like 8 times. But he's probably happy regardless. But yeah, dude, I don't think I would change much else. There is one very questionable and unnecessary green screen in this at the fair.
Yep. I
It
knew you
does
were
the
going to say
pan of
that.
the crowd, and it looks
Yeah.
fucking horrible. And I just don't know why, like Hanks or whoever decided that like maybe they missed a shot at some point, and they were like, "We need to go do this in a studio because we missed it when we were on site." But like, it looks so out of place and bad.
I wonder if it was just a challenge with filming and getting the light right in the real,
Yeah,
in reality, and then it just didn't come through right. I'm not sure, because I agree. I noticed that so much this time, but I
yeah.
will say it's quick enough that I think, especially on a first watch, maybe you don't notice
But
it
that's what I
because
mean. It's like a 3-second shot. Like this movie doesn't
yeah,
need it. I don't know why they felt like they
yeah.
needed to force that in. It's 1996. We don't need green screen here.
You need the crowd screaming their name with the lights on them. No, I'm just kidding. I agree.
They
I
could have
think you
used
could get
like
rid of it.
1996 CGI instead. Just
Yeah, you
like blocky crowd members out there.
maybe some editing guy was like, you know what, I haven't gotten to play with on this shoot at all is the CGI. Like I just want to, let's just give me one shot. Give me one shot, dude. I
There's
have no
one. The
idea.
only other crime that I'll point out, I don't think they should have put Liv Tyler in a beehive. I don't think that's the most flattering hairstyle for her personally.
I don't think so, but it is very of the era. I agree
Yeah.
with you though. It doesn't look, it's not, I mean, I don't like that hairstyle in general, to be honest, but it is very appropriate for the era in general. But I also we got to the part of Lamar's hotel. We have to talk about this before we go. Is that why we're watching this? We're watching this because
I
it's
did write
Lamar's
down in my
hotel.
notes, literally, I have it. Do I only like this because there's a character named Lemar? I have to push through that self-doubt, but it is funny every time that comes up on screen. My name's Lemar.
Yeah. He does you proud. He's a good character.
You
He's
don't
a
get a
good
lot of
one.
Lamars in motion pictures, so it's nice
Yeah,
to
you don't.
feel
You
seen.
don't. Yeah, I think this one rounds things out. We got good bit characters. We've got a good core cast. We've got a tight script. We've got great music. I like the aesthetic and the costume design of it all. This is a fun era for, the costume design of it all for sure, other than the beehive, as we said. So I think it's overall really fun. I also love that, like, you get so immersed, like we said, into this band as like a real band. And that's the way that it sort of wraps up. And fun fact, Japan took this very seriously. Like, they were a big hit in Japan. And so when they toured to do their, press tour to promote the film, the Japanese fans made them play at karaoke. Like they
the
took them to
actors
dinner
had to
and then
play?
the actors had to like play, and Tom Hanks had to get up there and play. And there's this great bit in the making of like, it was
I'm gonna
like
have
the
to look
wonders
that
are
up,
big in
yeah.
Japan. And there's this cut of Tom Hanks like talking to somebody, some manager, and he's like, you got to throw us a rope or a bone if it's getting bad, like pull us off of there, do something, and like they are on this stage because they're at this Japanese restaurant and they ripped down the wall and there was this whole like band setup and it was like the heaviest, dutiest karaoke they ever did. And some girl was dressed as a Playboy bunny, like serving them. And they're like, because of the line in the movie where they're like, she was a Playboy bunny. They were obsessed with this movie there, and they made them like really deliver on this tour. So I thought that was funny. It's very convincing. Very convincing. You can borrow my DVD. It's on there.
Okay.
It's very convincing footage, is what I would say. People really bought the film for sure.
Wicked. Well, I'll cue you. Who is your golden garnish on this one? There's options here.
There are options. This is hard because my instinct is to go Guy, obviously. Well, at least obvious for me because, sunglasses. No, I'm just kidding. I do think he's like the sweetheart of the movie, and he is very, very likable. But just to like, I don't know, shake it up. I think probably Steve Zahn. Like he just, every time he got on the screen, I'm just laughing. He's funny. He's silly. I love the Oneaters line where he's like, no, the wonders, as in like wonders. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I get it. It looks like the Oneaters. Like, get over it, dude.
Or like hey, isn't that our fan?
Yeah, our single fan.
Or some guy in a really nice camper wants to get us on the radio. I'm signing your sign.
I'm signing your sign. Where's a pen? Like, I love
Zahn
that.
is a great show. I'm glad you took him because he was one of my 3 options. And he does in a lot of ways make this film because Lenny is the comedic backbone of this for sure. Not that there's not other funny lines, but he would be my probably second choice. I'm very tempted to say Tom Hanks, but the fact that he didn't write and direct much after this.
I feel like we have to eliminate Tom Hanks because he's the low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like he does so much for this. I don't know.
I'm going to go with Adam Schlesinger. I think that, they had a competition we need a one-hit wonder for 1964. So write us your best one-hit wonder. And the fact that he wrote this, and like I said, you can listen to it throughout this entire film. You never get sick of it. I could put it on a Spotify playlist today and like be bopping to it. I've done it at karaoke before. So again, may you rest in peace. But like, if you're saying Fountains of Wayne's a one-hit wonder, like he also wrote this one. So he has 2 fucking top of the charts, great hits to his name.
I just love that he heard that call and was like, you know what I'm an expert at? One-hit wonders. Like, you know what I can fucking do.
This would have been 5 years before.
I guess that's true. Yeah, this is 96.
96. I think Fountains of. I'm trying to remember if that was high school or college for me. It might have been like 02, 03. Like, I don't know.
So this was foreshadowing, actually.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be a one-hit wonder. I love it. Yeah. No, I think that's such a good call out. That's such a good choice.
Again, I think the 2 that we named, I don't think this movie works without obviously the song, agree. And I don't think it works without Steve Zahn's portrayal of the Lenny character. So
I agree. Do you have a worst fact for us?
So this is an interesting one. I wrote this down last night as the worst fact, and then I reread it today and went, oh, so I'm going to admit fault here. I don't want people to feel like, I don't want to ever seem like a cynical where I'm just looking at it and like criticizing people who are putting things on there every week. But some of them are pretty fucking bad guys. But this one I will take on the chin. And to be fair, it does have a lot of thumbs down. So I think a lot of people don't get what it's saying. But somebody pointed out that there's a scene where they're on the street and a truck drives by. And it's like, if you look at the back, there's an advertisement for Wonder Bread. And I was like, cool, you just recognize what product placement is. Wonder Bread is advertising in this movie. And then I realized they were saying it because of the wonders. So I'll take that I didn't pick up on what they were actually hinting at the first time. And I will say apologies to whoever wrote that fact, because I get it.
Okay.
Wonder. Yeah.
Okay, so reading is hard. We get
Reading
it. We get it.
It's not reading. I'm okay at reading. I'm bad at comprehension. There is a difference.
Context, comprehension. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, next time. You'll get us next time.
What's your rating? I want you to give yours first since I picked this one.
God damn it. Okay, that's fair. I haven't thought about it, actually. I feel like there's so little that I don't like about this movie, to be honest. Like, I think the one or two criticisms we covered is, just like maybe a little bit more of the Guy and Faye story. But I've watched the extended cut, which I think helps with that. But then it has kind of a pacing issue, to be fair. So I understand why they cut some stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go like 8.5. Like, I think it's really good. Maybe, maybe
that's
8.5.
Comforting for me to hear, because I thought I was going to go too high, because I see the rating on IMDb is like a 7 or 7.5, whatever it is.
Whatever.
And then that audience score on Rotten Tomatoes of 78% just is shocking to me.
That's so weird to me. I don't get, this is just such a, like you said, a comfort film. Like, I don't understand why you would just not want to see it, Yeah,
this is the chocolate chip cookie of motion pictures.
Yes.
It's just, but I guess some people
What a
don't
great
like
analogy. It absolutely is.
It's just, you want a cookie? Hell yeah, I want a cookie. You can ask me that any day. Do you want to watch that movie? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to repeat anything you said. It's not a perfect film. Things I would change for sure: the shitty green screen, the beehive haircut, the Faye of it all. I would just add a couple extra scenes there to make it make more sense. But I'm going to go solid 9. It's not perfect, but I really love this film. So 9.
It's a good time. It's a good time. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. You Rotten Tomatoes are I don't know, cynics. Weird choice. All right, kids. Well, thank you for joining this month of Lemar's Picks. That was a fun ride. It was kind of a crazy, different experience for us, but it was cool. Like, I felt like I kind of got to take the month off, but not. Like, I kind of had to be on my toes. You know, but it was fun.
Yeah,
so
this was enjoyable. Maybe we do the same for your birthday month, because I'd be curious what you end up picking there. And I think we talked about it in one of the episodes a few weeks ago. But yeah, thank you again for letting me pick. This was fun.
Of course. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
All right, fans, come back next week for a new month. This is kind of a fun one. We've sort of talked about doing this, and then we had the alliteration at our disposal. So we're going to do September snubs, which will be anything that was snubbed for an Oscar specifically. We're going to just keep it easy in terms of award systems. And then it's going to be kind of broad. Like, it's pretty flex in terms of, were they snubbed for a nomination? Were they snubbed for a win? Was it a director? Was it an actor? Whatever. It's going to kind of run the gamut a little bit. And we're going to kick things off with Miss Glenn Close, who is the most Oscar-nominated woman without a win. And we're going to cover her film, Fatal Attraction.
A woman named Glenn. Well, let's talk about it next week.
But with 2 N's, so it's so different. It didn't
catch on. Why aren't there more Glens out there?
I don't know. She fucking makes it work, man. She's a bad bitch. This is the one. She has so many good ones, but this is the one I think that she's, super duper famous for. So it's going to be a fun one, I think. But in the meantime,
follow us on our socials. We drink and we watch things mainly on Instagram, which we learned this week, I think, in our Scott Pilgrim reel, what trolls on the internet and Fox News have known for years. And that's, don't put fun, happy content, just put controversial shit and stir people up, and you will get more engagement than you ever wanted. So thank you to everybody that, not everybody, most of the people that commented on our Scott Pilgrim reel, because there was just a lot to take in there. But it's also like, I want to come to both of our defenses a little bit here. When you take a 60-second clip of a 75-minute episode out of context, like, it's very easy to be like, well, I disagree with this, or like, they don't understand. Like, basically everything people commented, we delved into in the episode. So
yeah, I mean, it was one of my hotter of hot takes, but I think it was totally justified in the film. And the problem that I had with the commentary, and actually, honestly, in the clip, which is not your fault, it's just an editing thing, it's the mansplaining of it all.
Yeah.
Like, I understood the fucking premise. I just didn't agree. And that is allowed. by the way. That's the fun thing about the interwebs. You can have disagreements, and my line in the sand is like, don't talk about people as people and attack their character. Like, somebody called Lemar a dork for telling me that I was wrong, and somebody talked about my voice, somebody talked about my appearance. Like, guys, if don't engage. If that's what you're going to do, don't engage.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, for people that have that kind of, and again, we're talking about a very specific group of the commenters on this. So those of you who engaged and just gave your 2 cents and are like, read the graphic novels, or like, I like this thing, or I do like
we had some great chats about that. I had so much affirmation that I need to read that.
But those handful of folks that are just miserable fucking cynics with way too much time on their hands, commenting just to be angry and get an opinion out in the world that's gonna annoy people. It's just, go touch grass, dude.
Yes.
I try not to engage. I was like, dude, this is just the internet. I've been in YouTube comment sections and seen people arguing. I refuse to get into back and forths with miserable strangers on the internet. But yeah, this was rough.
Yeah, the thing is, I will say too, my last thought on this is that men and women are treated differently on the internet. And the thing that I'm not going to let slide is me being spoken to differently than Lemar on the internet. So if that continues to happen, you guys can just be aware that that'll be my reaction. But I very much appreciated the really harsh one that you jumped in and addressed. If you're interested, go look at what Lemar had to say to that fella.
I wasn't going to say anything. I saw the original comment and I was like, again, not even going to give him the time of fucking day. I read it. I'm going to go about my day off my phone and live my life. And then you gave a very innocent reply, almost poking fun at it. And he came back even harder. And I'm not even going to name the dude's name here to give him any fucking credit whatsoever. But I was like, okay, now you've dug yourself into more of a hole. I went and looked at what his page was about. And I'm like, cool, you make comedy videos for a living and your last one got 2 fucking likes and is not funny at all. Find it, like, stop worrying about our shit and our vocal quality or whatever you're talking about and worry about your own quote unquote comedy career, So just don't be mean to my friends.
What we learned in this experience, what I learned in this experience, is that when you really piss off Lemar or you're really mean to one of Lamar's friends, he'll fuck you up.
I will take off my Charmander onesie, chase you down the street, and beat your ass.
Oh man, what a callback. I wish I'd seen it in real time. All right, kids, now that we've thoroughly lectured you on how to talk to us on the internet, go now and have a drink and watch a thing. Cheers.
Cheers.